It's only happened 3 times in history. Students stormed the field after the Sooners upset the Crimson Tide. Plus this.
He thought the world of me, but, he was my hero. He really was.
Only here on OU Nightly, a family says they're forgiving the man police say killed their brother. And flooding alerts could be more accurate. How the National Weather Service receives funding for this research. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Spencer Plato.
And I'm Darby McCormick. We begin tonight with a campus that's still celebrating the Sooners' historic win on Saturday night.
Oklahoma got the win over number 7 Alabama on Saturday, but at what cost? Well, a pretty hefty one because fans rushed the field. OU Nightly's Abby Williams has the story.
Saturday night, OU fans celebrated the win over Alabama in a big way, storming the field not once, but twice.
Wonderful night, man. It's about freaking time.
Now OU has been fined big time, announced yesterday by the SEC. How much? $200,000. $100,000 for each time fans stormed the field Saturday. After the game, head coach Brent Venables was focused on celebrating the win, not mourning the fine.
So for them to be able to celebrate that with, and then Sooner Nation too. You talk about it, players are starved for it, the coaches are starved for it, the fans are too. A place that expects and is used to winning at the highest level.
And Alabama will be collecting that $200,000 fine. Here's the official statement put out by the SEC following Saturday's game, stating this was the Sooners' first violation of the policy and the additional fine because fans rushed the field with 28 seconds still left on the clock.
You can't blame them. They're just excited and premature, but no, it was good. Good problem to have. I hope. Hopefully nobody gets fined, but don't take it out of my pocket.
Now, OU gears up for a trip to Baton Rouge where they'll play LSU in their last game of the season. Reporting for OU Nightly, I'm Abby Williams.
Thanks, Abby. The last time fans rushed the field here in Norman was back in 2000 when the team won against Nebraska.
And that $200,000 fine isn't the only downer of the night. Following the game on Saturday, linebacker Danny Stutzman alerted social media that his senior night jersey was taken from his locker, explaining his situation on the franchise radio this morning.
Nothing else was from my locker was taken, which is weird because I left pretty much everything out. All my expensive stuff was out, and so maybe I just lost it. Maybe someone snagged it, but it is definitely a Oklahoma football mystery now.
All's well that ends well, though. The OU Athletic Department confirms that Stutzman's jersey is now safe and sound.
Some surprising news about a former Sooner legend tonight. Former OU Heisman quarterback Baker Mayfield is suing his father's company for $12 million. The lawsuit filed Friday says that Camwood Capital Management Group, owned by Mayfield's father, did not meet the terms of a settlement agreed to earlier this year. According to the lawsuit, Mayfield's money was transferred to the company without his approval. And now for our Thanksgiving forecast. If you haven't felt it outside, we've got some big weather changes happening.
OU Nightly meteorologist Garrett Tarver is watching the cooler temperatures moving in.
That's right. You can feel it outside if you walked. It's much colder. We're looking at these temperatures, 24-hour difference from yesterday. Almost 30 degrees drop, 32 in Woodward, 31 Guymon. So that's a big change from yesterday, and that has issued a freeze warning for most of us from the central part of Oklahoma down into the southwest. That's going to be overnight into 9 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to talk about more about the cold winds, first freeze, and that Thanksgiving travel coming up. Spencer, Darby.
Thanks, Garrett. There is new information tonight about a hit-and-run case that took the life of a Norman man earlier this fall. For the first time, loved ones of Sean Rivera, the victim in the case, is speaking out about him. And we are learning more about those accused in the case. OU Nightly's Abigail Franklin has a story you'll see only on OU Nightly.
He was one to make anybody feel pretty special, that's for sure.
This is where Sean Rivera made a few friends and a name for himself.
He had people literally waiting 30 minutes, an hour, and they would still wait for his haircut.
Midway Barbershop on Main Street in Norman.
Yeah, he was the only barber that I've ever met who was passionate about it as I was.
Where coworkers say he poured his heart into his work.
He just cut his own way. He could find anybody's head shape, and he knew how to do it.
Sean's brother says it was his passion.
And he was a master barber. That's what I want to explain about my brother. He wasn't a barber. He was an old school barber. Straight razor edge ups, and like made you feel special.
Man, I ain't seen these in so long.
Now a memory that Kevin holds on to.
I think that was really the most beautiful part about my brother, is how much he cared about his craft and how he used his craft to touch people.
As a passion and a life was cut short.
There's a hole in my heart, and I'll miss him forever.
As Sean headed home on September 19th, his motorcycle was hit by a car.
When officers arrived on scene, they did locate a motorcycle that had been hit, and one individual that was driving that motorcycle on the ground with injuries that were determined to be fatal at the scene. That driver was pronounced deceased at the scene.
Police say the driver and passenger in the car just kept going.
Officers were able to pretty quickly identify a suspect vehicle based on that information and began searching the area.
Detectives started looking for Aaron Hutzel and his brother, Adam.
It was a short time later that they actually located that vehicle. The vehicle was unoccupied at the time. So officers believed the individual or two individuals that reported to have been in the vehicle were potentially still in the area. So they did create a perimeter and began searching for those individuals, but those searches were unsuccessful that night.
It took 7 days to find them. And when they did, they also found their records. The driver, Aaron Hutzel, has pled guilty to 2 misdemeanors, one for DUI and one for assault and battery, and later a felony DUI, all between 2016 and 2024. The passenger, Adam Hutzel, has pled guilty to 7 misdemeanors between 2004 and 2010, including public intoxication, domestic assault and battery twice, driving under the influence, and possession of a controlled drug and drug paraphernalia. Both men were booked into Cleveland County Jail and bonded out.
A rap sheet like this is enough to make many people angry, even force a family to call for justice. But Sean's brother doesn't see it that way.
I know that they didn't go out to kill my brother. Yeah, I do pray for them, and I do pray for their family, but that something good can come from this.
It's something Sean's coworkers say he would have wanted.
You just had one of those personalities that snap with a whole lot of different people. And then when you're in this business, it's like that. You have to be versatile with a whole lot of people in your business.
And now, a whole lot of people are left knowing they'll never hear Sean's voice again.
Hey, Kevin, I'm ready. I just got cleared by the doctors. I got my physical papers in. You tell them, pick me up. Anybody ready?
You know, he thought the world of me, but, you know, he was my hero. He really was. That's part of the hardest is not to be able to tell him.
Reporting for OU Nightly, I'm Abigail Franklin.
Oh, I didn't know that was the premise of the game. What hell?
All right.
Now, Norman police are still working to finish the investigation into this case. The Cleveland County District Attorney will then decide on specific charges and a court date will be set.
And a deal is not final yet, but there could be a ceasefire agreement in the Middle East. OU Nightly's Savannah Simmons has that and the rest of today's international and national headlines from the News Center.
Yes, Spencer, regional sources tell CNN an agreement is close in a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon-based Hezbollah. The U.S. and Israel are proposing a 60-day pause in fighting.
We have made significant progress with getting towards a resolution that includes progress from where we were when I spoke to this last week, but we're not done yet. Nothing is final until everything is final. We continue to work to try and get an agreement over the line.
The Lebanese Health Ministry estimates 3,000 people have died since September when Israel stepped up its campaign against Hezbollah. A judge postpones a resentencing hearing for the Menendez brothers, saying he needs time to review the 17 boxes of evidence. Brothers Eric and Lyle are serving life sentences for the 1989 murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty. Their next hearing is January 30th and 31st. And special counsel Jack Smith announces he is dropping the election interference and classified documents cases against President Donald Trump. The Justice Department has a policy against prosecuting a sitting president. It would have been next to impossible for the case to continue. And nationally, nearly 80 million Americans are expected to travel this week. TSA says the busiest days for flyers will be Tuesday and Wednesday. Spencer Darby.
All right, thanks, Savannah. Thanksgiving week is here, and so is the grocery store bill.
That's right. We'll tell you how much the average Thanksgiving meal costs after the break.
Our first freeze is on its way. We'll have more in weather coming up after this break.
Ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and to support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, if your shower can fill a 1-gallon bucket in less than 20 seconds, replace the shower head with a water-efficient one. They are cheap, easy to install, and can save you up to 750 gallons a month. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
This week, more than 183 million people are planning to shop this Thanksgiving. OU Nightly's Abby Hollinsworth is looking at the increase of shoppers in today's Money Matters.
Today, we're talking Turkey Day. Shopping ahead of Thanksgiving is expected to hit a new record both in person and online. 57% of those cited good deals as their main reason for shopping. Holiday spending is expected to hit nearly $1 trillion this year. And according to an annual Thanksgiving survey by the American Farm Bureau Federation, the average cost of this year's Thanksgiving for 10 people is $58. That's a 5% drop from last year. The centerpiece of the meal, the turkey, has helped bring down the overall cost with lower prices. But egg prices are up 30%. Experts say this is because of a spike in bird flu.
Well, it feels like November, finally. I'm ready for Thanksgiving. Those temperatures out there, a lot different from what they have been. 40s across the metro. We even have some lower 40s out there at mid 40s in Guyman and Woodward, 50s down to the south. But we're going to continue to stay cool into tomorrow morning. Those wind chills going to be into the 20s. So overnight, we'll see those kind of dip with those stronger winds. Moving into the morning, it'll still be pretty chilly out there. But by the afternoon, we'll get back up into the 50s. But it's still pretty cold, and the wind gusts are not going to help with that. we'll see it pretty calm tomorrow, and then it starts to move in around noon. We'll see higher wind gusts, not quite as bad as today. And then moving into Wednesday, we'll start to see this next cold front sweep on down, and by Wednesday afternoon, we'll see that move into our area and bring much cooler temperatures. Look at those temperatures: 52 tomorrow, 54 Wednesday, 40s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it's going to be a lot cooler, and everyone's going out there to travel. Not a whole lot of impacts today. We do have some rain out to the east and into the Great Lakes region, some snow, but we have a winter storm that's going to cause some issues, especially for areas out to the west, over into the Rockies. We'll start to see that into tomorrow as well. Start to see those impacts become more widespread, with possible for a lot of areas into the Rockies, that minor and moderate. And then into Wednesday, we could see some possible weather impacts even into the Panhandle in Oklahoma. We'll continue to monitor that. Not going to be super widespread, and we'll mostly stay dry here in the greater part of the state, but some areas could see some snow. So if you're going up to the Great Lakes region or out to the Rockies, you might have a snowy Thanksgiving. Now, we'll stay dry down here, but the temperatures are going to be quite a bit different. Look at these temperatures tonight into the 30s. That's why we have that freeze warning moving into tomorrow morning. And then we'll heat up into the 50s across the area, maybe 63 out in Guyman. It's really fluctuating out there, but we'll mostly stay normal for tomorrow into Wednesday as well. See those temperatures? 52, 54, 40s with that cold front Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thanksgiving is looking a little bit colder, but at least we aren't going to have all that rain. And it's going to be the same thing moving into the weekend. Those dry fronts keep moving through, keeping us into the 40s. And we'll stick around with that moving into next week with maybe some sunny skies. I'm looking forward to the cooler temperatures. I had my sweater on earlier today, but it's quite a bit cooler, I wish that I was in Colorado to see some of that snow, but I'm going to stick around here, go down to Texas.
That's nice. Well, thank you, Garrett, for keeping us so weather aware all semester.
Yes, thank you. And we've enjoyed working with you and the work that you've been putting out as well.
Oh, yes, yes. So 2024 has been a year of one of the most costly years in U.S. history for weather disasters, and the impacts from severe weather have been felt across the country. Tonight we know there's help coming in the form of a grant for researchers right here on the OU campus. From hailstorms to hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, and floods, 2024 has had a total of 24 natural disasters totaling at least $1 billion each, the most costly floods. And we have seen plenty of that right here on the OU campus.
Anytime it really rains a lot, it'll quickly pile up, and usually by a couple hours the water will be gone, but sometimes if it's really bad raining, it'll stay for a day or two.
And the water won't go down without a fight.
Some of my friends have gotten car damage from all the water, that some of their cars have gotten totaled.
So not only is flooding the most expensive natural disaster, but it is also the most deadly. As of September 20th, 159 Americans lost their lives in floodwaters. 3 of those right here in Oklahoma.
First tonight, search crews find a father and son dead after they were swept away by floodwaters near Haskell.
And that's why researchers right here at OU inside the National Weather Center are grateful for a new $4.5 million grant that will help better predict flooding.
The grant is money that we receive so that we can continue supporting our system at MRMS, multi-radar, multi-sensor. That supports the work that we do to make precipitation estimates.
The Cooperative Institute for Severe and High Impact Weather Research and Operations, or CIRO, is studying how much rain is falling and how that could impact areas just like Lindsay Street.
So we work closely with the National Weather Service to provide them the best precipitation product that they can use to make those warnings and to provide that to the public.
More accurate modeling can help when issuing flood alerts, and the end result could save lives. Remember to always take weather alerts seriously and turn around, do not drive through flooded roadways. Spencer, Darby.
Thanks, Garrett. Well, Saturday was a special night for Sooner fans at Owen Field.
That's right, Spencer. It was a game that OU faithful will remember for a very long time.
It sure is, Darby. Our OU Nightly sports team was on Owen Field Saturday night and has a report on why Brent Venable says the win was anything but normal for the Sooners, and find out why some Sooners are still winning even a couple of days after the game. Next in sports.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Hello, I'm Aiden Tyler, and it is time for sports. Saturday night, it was storming in Norman, but it was nothing weather-related. OU Nightly sports reporter Kaylee Jo Hommel has more on OU football's historic night.
Before Alabama, the last time Sooner fans stormed Owen Field was back in 2000 against #1 Nebraska. Now the most recent time, the 24-3 win over the Crimson Tide. And whether it was the storming or the scoring, it was a special night for the Sooners.
That was electric. You know, that's something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, and I'm forever grateful for that. And obviously, I kind of knew the fans were going to rush. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm not complaining. That's awesome. That's something you'll remember. I found my family right away, which is awesome.
It's just not a normal thing here. The standards are really high, but no, it was cool. It was pretty magical. Again, and I'm thinking about the players because I know they're the ones in the middle of that. That was like, oh man, this is what we've been talking about.
It was kind of crazy. They stormed the field before the game was even over, but I was talking to some of my friends before the game was over, just hanging out on the sideline, but yeah, it was awesome. You know, you don't have many like this. I don't know if I ever had the field rushed again when I play, but you know, it's special.
And this win really just means more. The Sooners are now bowl eligible heading into their final game of the season against LSU. Reporting from Owen Field, Kaylee Jo Hommel, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kaylee Jo. And as a result of the game, some Sooners are taking home awards. Fabechi Wiwu was named the SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week, and Xavier Robinson benefited from Wiwu's efforts as he was named the SEC Freshman of the Week after running for 107 yards and both of OU's offensive touchdowns. R. Mason Thomas was named the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week after finishing with 3 tackles and a sack. And Danny Stutzman was named a Butkus Award finalist. The last time a Sooner won the award was Teddy Lehman in 2003. And another Alabama school visited Norman this weekend. OU volleyball hosted the Auburn Tigers on Sunday. Leading 2-1, the Sooners commanded the 4th set, and 5th-year senior Kelsey Carrington ended it with a kill as the Sooners took the win in 4 sets on senior night. OU graduate senior Lydia Martin says the senior class just wants to leave a lasting impact.
Today, we came in just wanting to be us, make sure we get our out-of-system balls to the net, and just be a strong blocking team. And I think we did that today. We built something really special here, and just to leave that mark, like as I move on and whatever's next for me, it's just really special to see everyone here.
And Baker Mayfield led his Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they took on the New York Giants Sunday. Mayfield cooked up 323 total yards in this crazy rushing touchdown to steer the ship for the Buccaneers in their 30-7 win over the struggling New York Giants. Spencer, Darby.
Thanks, Aiden. And 2 turkeys were saved from the dinner table today.
Find out more about how they gobbled their way to Washington next.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping. Got a few minutes? You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. Never do that. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
I'm Savannah Simmons at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Former Ward 3 Norman councilman and attorney Kelly Lynn is released from jail today after serving a time for a courtroom outburst. Court documents show Lynn was sentenced to days in jail after acting aggressively towards the judge and others in an Oklahoma City County courtroom. Lynn was representing a client in a child custody case. Spencer, Darby.
Thank you, Savannah. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I certainly am excited for Turkey Day coming up.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty chilly.
It's going to be pretty chilly. That's right. We have those temperatures into the 40s on Thursday. So we had a cold front move through earlier. That dropped us down pretty cool today at 52. Still pretty windy, but tomorrow it'll be a little bit warmer, less wind. 52 there Tuesday into Wednesday, 54. Thanksgiving going to be at 44, and then moving into the rest of the weekend, we'll be in the 40s Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. The temperatures overnight, those are going to be cold. Those are going to be really cold. Temperatures below freezing. That's why we have that freeze warning moving into tomorrow morning. So if you need to wrap your pipes, let out your, what is it? Your sprinklers. That's what it is. My goodness, I never had those growing up. So let all that go.
All right, well, thank you, Garrett, and thank you for watching OU Nightly tonight and every night this semester.
This newscast concludes our daily broadcast for the fall semester of 2024. And as we say goodnight, we want to send it over to one of our seniors who will be graduating in December. Savannah.
Yeah, guys, Darby, Spencer, as a thank you for the years that I spent here, I want to leave our Monday team tonight with the sights and sounds we all hear so often on campus. The clock tower bells at 5. Thank you guys for watching OU Nightly this semester, and as always, Boomer Sooner.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love feels